and right off the bat, I am gonna tell you, if you have not made any of my recipes yet, this is the one you are definitely gonna wanna make, as it is gonna have all that goodness in it. We are talking about a 5-pound pork loin, which we will butterfly open and add to that a stuffing of some bacon, some walnuts, some fresh spinach, along with some onions. We will roll it up, and I could safely say that the flavor of this was just absolutely incredible. So look, what I want to do here is I want to get started right in on this recipe. Remember, I will have it broken down for you step by step, and this one is going to start off with 1 pound of maple bacon. So for this recipe here, I definitely prefer that maple bacon. If you cannot find maple bacon, hickory will work. Basically, it is a pound in. You know how to do this part. Just saute that bacon up. Definitely here, do not want to undercook it because we are going to crisp it up, and you will see that in a bit. Just get that bacon all sauteed up. Have yourself some paper towels ready, because you are going to remove that bacon onto the paper towels and let that grease drain. In the meantime, grab another stack of paper towels, because you do not want all that bacon fat in there. Remove about 80–90% of that bacon fat and grab your shallots. So on those shallots, you're only looking to do about a light saute. I am talking maybe about a minute or two. After that, grab your onion. We are talking 1 medium onion diced up, and get it in there. Now make sure you incorporate all those flavors together. Another 2–3 minutes or so, and grab yourself 8 ounces of walnuts. You want to get them in a freezer bag and basically just start crushing those up with your hands. They do not have to be perfectly crushed up, as I basically like a little bit of walnut dust in there, as well as some nice chunks. Once you got those walnuts all crushed up, you are going to add that into the mixture. Incorporate all that goodness together. You are going to want to saute it for about another minute or two. At that point, you are going to grab your bacon and get that in there. Just rip it apart, crush it up, big pieces, little pieces, it doesn't matter. Add all that into the mixture, saute it for about a minute or so. Make yourself a nice center hole and get yourself a 1/4 stick of butter in there. Let that butter melt, and once that butter has melted, get yourself a bowl. Add that mixture into the bowl to cool. Then grab your pork loin and let's butterfly it. I am working with about a 5.5 pound of pork loin. This is a regular pork loin you could pick up in any market. So the first thing you are going to want to do is get it out of the package. Grab yourself some paper towels, because you're going to have to dry it off. Once dried off, we've got to butterfly it, and there are a few different methods to butterflying it. I find this to be the easiest one, because I like to control the thickness, and we are looking at about a 1/2 inch thick after pounded. So basically what I will do is go right down the center, being careful not to cut all the way through. At that point, you are going to butterfly off that center line on both sides. Again, being very careful not to cut all the way through. Once you've got that butterflied, you could spread it out and grab yourself some saran wrap or some plastic wrap. Get your kitchen pounder and start pounding it down. A little tip here, if you use the flat side of the pounder, you will rip it apart less. Once you get that all pounded down, again, about a 1/2 inch thick will do you nice. If it is a little thinner than that, that is okay also. Grab your salt, pepper, and granulated garlic, or the rub that you are using, because you are going to want to season the pork. Once you get that pork seasoned, grab that mixture and you are going to spread it out all over the pork. Once you got that carefully spread out nice and thick, grab yourself fresh spinach. I am looking at about 2 cups or so, and just kind of lay that out on top of the mixture. Once you get that spinach laid out, grab your salt, pepper, granulated garlic, or the rub that you are using, because you are going to want to season that up. Once you get all that goodness seasoned up, it is time to roll it. And to do that is very simple. Just roll it up, keep it tight, keep it smushed together. Once you've got that rolled up, you are going to grab yourself some butcher's twine. Now look, butcher's twine is very simple to do, and here is a nice trick. Get your butcher's twine all laid out underneath the pork. Once you bring those ends up together and twist it under, instead of just doing it 1 time, 2 times, do it 3 times. Pull it tight, and that'll hold the twine in place. From there, just tie yourself a knot. Let's do it one more time. 1 twist, 2 twist, 3 twist. Pull tight, knot, and you are good to go. Do that for the rest of them. From there, grab your scissor or knife and clean up the edges of the strings. And oh yeah, if I forgot, grab your salt, pepper, and granulated garlic or your favorite rub and season up that pork. Grab yourself a nice greased out tray with a wire rack. Get that pork on the wired rack. Leave it here on the board to come up to room temperature a little bit. At that point, let's turn our attention over to the Z and fire it up. Now look, it is very important here. You are going to want to monitor the internals of that pork loin, as 145 is exactly where you're going to want to be. Around a half hour into the cook, you are going to want to lower that temp on the pit to 375 Fahrenheit. Now look, at this point, you do not want to peek. You do not want to open the hood. You want all that heat to remain in. Again, continue cooking. Once you hit that 145 internal, you are going to want to get it out of the pit and get it on the board. At this point, let's just take a brief moment and admire this pork loin that we worked so not very hard to achieve. I mean, the color is absolutely incredible. That is perfect what you want. We are talking golden brown and juicy inside. Now look, very important here. You are going to want to stop that cooking process. So remove it from that tray and then rest it on the board. We will let this pork loin rest for about 10-15 minutes or so. At that point, I will bring you guys back. We will slice it open, do that taste test, talk about it, and close out the show. Alrighty guys, welcome back into the channel, and after about a brief 15-minute rest, we are able to cut this open and see how we did. And right off the bat, I could tell you that the smell is in the air. There is no doubt about it. I mean, this looks absolutely incredible. And the first thing you are going to want to do here is you are going to want to snip off those strings. You know, we cooked this in just under 2 hours, but more importantly than that, as I mentioned, is the temperature inside the piece of pork. You want that about 145 to 150 Fahrenheit. Alrighty, so that is that. Let's cut this bad boy open and see how we did. And I am going to go with some nice 1/2-inch cuts. Boy, when you cut into these, man, that just ups the smell that much more. And there is a little bit of a peak. And guys, that looks absolutely amazing right there. That is a quick peek. What I want to do here is let me get this all plated up, and then I will bring you guys back. Alrighty, welcome back, and here we go. And I gotta tell you, man, I was doing some snaps and I had a little bit of a taste, and this is absolutely incredible. I mean, the stuffing is perfect. It's juicy. It's got a, as you can see, it's got a little bit of a smoke ring happening, even though we did more of a high heat grill. So look, man, that's that. Let's dive right in and do that taste test. I mean, these are almost, you know, almost too good to cut up and dive in. They just look too good. And again, you can stuff these with, you know, you can put a little apple in there. I thought that was a little bit too Thanksgiving for me, with that bacon and so forth. The walnuts happening, you got the bacon happening. Let me get some filling on this. And cheers. Guys, that is just through the roof, man. That is amazing. But I am going to kick it up just a little bit more with some of my favorite, and that is going to be a stone mustard. And now, cheers. Wow. So So that is going to close out this show. Again, my name is Tommy. I appreciate you all. And until next time, we will see you soon.